Hello everyone, this is Dr. Abdul. I'm glad to be with you today in a new video. In this video, we'll talk about drawing 6-2 Archimedes Spiral. And as you see here, the designs in this drawing are not technical drawings, but they give you valuable experience and the importance of CAD commands. First, you create an accurate Archimedes spiral using the radial grid of circles and lines as a guide. Once the spiral is done, turn off the grid layers and use the spiral to create the designs in the reference drawings. So we're gonna create the Archimedes spiral. Then we will create these 5 designs. However, this is very important note here. Once the spiral is complete, use only edit commands. So we're gonna draw it, then we use only the modify and edit commands to create the designs. We will use scale, we will use a trim, move, copy, whatever any modify commands to complete the designs. For the designs, there are no dimensions, so do not be too concerned with a precision. Some of your designs may come out slightly different from ours, so do not be very specific. Try to be creative, try to be as close as you can to this drawings, and use all the commands. Now this is the spiral that we will start with today. We'll start with circles, creating layers, then circles, then we will draw lines, we will use the polar array, then we will connect the dots using the object snap intersection. Okay, so let's see what we have. This is the final designs that we will create together. Let's get ready and jump into AutoCAD. Let's start this drawing by creating some layers. I already here created some layers for the design, which is the final design we have, hidden, solid, and for the spiral. I assigned color and line type. Each layer should have a unique color and line type to draw. I will start by putting the solid active, and now it is from the top. I leave all the properties by layer as you see here. Then I'm gonna draw the first circle with center radius 0.25. I will move on to the hidden. Draw the second circle from the same center. Here, to make sure that we do have the same center, we need object snap. So make sure the object snap is on, and we need the center. Okay, now we get the center and we draw 0.5. It is time to offset. I'm gonna use offset, and this time we need to click layer. The reason that I will pick that to save some time while I'm offsetting the 0.5. So I'll pick layer and I'll pick source. This will offset on the same layer of each object. I'll put 0.5, enter. Now I will offset this circle out, and see now it is offsetting to the source layer. Okay, now I'm gonna create some circles, and that's enough circles. After that, I'm gonna move on to draw the lines. I will draw a horizontal line right from the center till the end, and this is on the hidden. Now I will array this line, the polar array. I will use the polar array. Be careful here, the polar array. Use the line. Now enter to finish selecting and use the center. As you see here, we just made the items are 6. There is no need to make it associative, just make it 6 and leave it that way, then close. Now I'm gonna set the polar tracking to 60 degrees. Then I will move on to the second layer, which is a solid. I'll draw here a line from the center. Make sure you are picking the center again of the circle. Follow the polar tracking to make it 30 degrees. Click and enter. Now what we will do is polar array one more time. Polar array, click on that line to select it enter to finish selecting. Pick the center of the circle, and here you go. You just polar array 6 items as you see on the top, then you close. So we finish that. We are ready to make the spiral. We will move to the spiral layer, and at this point we just need the intersection. So let's turn off the center and make sure we just have the intersection, and we need to start drawing curve. So let's make zip line. Pick the intersection, make sure your intersection is on. Now let's make go to the left, solid with solid, hidden with hidden, and all the intersection point as you see, solid solid, hidden hidden, intersection point. Pan a little here, gonna pan, and this is the last point. Hit enter to accept it, and this is the zip line that I have. Now I will copy this zip line to another layer, which is the same thing. You can copy it or not, this is up to you, but I will copy it just in case I lost that zip line, so I have it again. So what I will do now is copy zip line, enter to finish selecting from the center, and as you see here, to the center again. Escape to finish, and now I will move the last one to the design, and here you go. I do have it twice. Now what I will do is copy the whole thing 6 times, since we do have 5 designs actually, so it's up to you. You can copy it 5 or 6 times. If you need to keep the original, then you can delete later. So I will do copy and select all, enter to finish selecting. Now I will make copies here. I'll make several ones, can make 5 or 6, then you can delete the extra ones. Now I will go to the second copy, so I'll keep the original just in case I need it. Then I will take this copy here on the right and do the design. Just keep that on, and I'm gonna lock everything else. Okay, this is the first design I'll do on the top left corner. I'm gonna use a polar array for this one, enter, and we need to just polar array around it. You can add if we need more items, enter, as you see here. Okay, so this is the first design. I think that's simple, using this with the polar array. Let's try to make that design on the corner. I also gonna move this picture. Now let's make that design on the right. First thing you notice that we do have 2 close together, then we have the polar array. So what we will do in this case, I gonna make the polar array, enter, and let's pick the middle like we did, but this time we just need 2 items, and we need to modify the distance between. So let's try to make it like 15, as you notice here. So we do have just 2 together. Okay, then let's close. After that, let's make polar array again and make these 2, enter, and from the middle we just make the polar array again. So we polar array 2 just to have the same center, then we did the polar array for all and the close. So this is the second design. The third design here in the middle, this one, also we need to use the modify tools to create it. Let's make it on the third. Okay, so we create both here. Let's make it here on that one. As you notice here, we do have this part on the right, then it looks like symmetrical, and the one in the middle, it looks like scaled, somewhere to the third or the fourth, we cannot guess exactly because we don't have the dimensions, but we will try to make it as close as we can to this design. So at the beginning here, what we will do, I believe we need to trim part of it. Let's make a trim, and I'm gonna unlock these layers, so that will help me with the trimming. So I will trim this part, trim, cutting edge. I will use these two as a cutting edge. Enter. So I will trim that part in the middle. I don't need it. I will do another trimming here, trim, and the cutting edges. Let's make these two here. Enter, and here you go. Let me hit that one. Enter. Now let me like this, and I see here a little piece. Let's delete it. We don't need that anymore. So I'm gonna make that one symmetrical. So I'm gonna use mirror and mirror that part. Enter. Let's mirror it here. Okay, hit enter to keep both of them. Now if you notice here, this part doesn't start really in the middle, so we need to move it down. Okay, so let's try moving that part a little bit down. So let's use move, and we need to move these two parts. Enter, from the intersection to, I think this is the good point. So let's wait to get this intersection here. So that's close enough. Now we need to draw the part in the middle. I'm gonna join these two parts. Probably that will make it easier. Join this and this part, enter. So now they are one part. I'm gonna copy this from, let's go closer, from the intersection to outside. Then I will scale it. I will use a scale, this one from the base point. So let's click here on a base point. I will scale it 0.35 maybe. So again, I don't know any dimensions here, so let's make it as close as we can. Then I go to mirror. Let's make here some endpoint, midpoint. Let's make horizontal. I don't need that anymore. So let's make that, move it from the endpoint to the endpoint. I got two shapes. Now I'm gonna make the polar array again for both shapes. Enter, polar array around the center, and the items now are 4. So here you go. Close. So I think that's close enough. We can scale if we need it larger. We can scale any part of this, but I think that is close enough to the shape. So we did the first 3. Let's make this one in the down here. Okay, this one, I believe, let's make it here. We need to move the spiral from the intersection to the center. So we moved it, then we make the polar array, as you see here. Then we can make the 8. I believe they are 8 here, then close. We did that one. Now the last one here. Here we use polar array to items. We did trimming till the center, then we polar array again. So let's make, I'm gonna polar array the part, enter, in the middle. Let's make it 2. We need to estimate the distance here. I think let's make it 40 probably, or 45. Probably more, a little bit more, maybe 60. Okay, so this is the distance. Let's make close. Now let's move these parts, both of them. Enter from one point to the second point. So here you go. We got this part. Let's mirror that part. And click erase source, yes. So we erase that part, and we got this part in the middle. Now let's unlock the layers, and let's do some trimming here because we don't need all this part. So I'm gonna make a trim, and the cutting edges, let me cut, I think around here is good. And probably, yeah, I think that is good. Enter, and I will cut that part. If we need to cut more later, we can do that. Let's enter to accept it. I'm gonna lock them one more time. Okay. Now at this point, we can use the polar array, and let's polar array this part around the center of the circle. Okay, I think that is good, but I believe we can trim that part. So we can trim it earlier, or we can trim at this point. So let's close this and then use the trim, and we can just go there to trim that part that we don't need. Okay, I think that's close enough to this. If you see that maybe the distance, you need to arrange that more or less, so that is up to you, but I see it that close enough for this. After that, we created that 6 part, and what you can do now is just turn off probably these layers. We don't need them anymore, and we just skip the design. And as you see here, we got these designs. I left this the first one, and you can just create as many designs as you like, and this is really a nice project to use the modify tools, as you see here, the object snap, and the layers, how to lock them, how to turn them off. This is a very nice practice. Now let's make the final touches, move and scale to make it similar to the one in the book. So move, let's start the move command, select object. I'm gonna move that part from here to there. I'm gonna move the second part. This is the one that has the double. Enter. Also from the middle, I'm gonna make it there. I'm gonna move that one from the middle. I'll put it right there. Also, I'm gonna scale it. I see that it is a little bit larger, so I'm gonna scale it probably from the middle and a little bit larger this way. I will move this one, and I'll put it there. And the last one, I will move this part from the center to there. And notice that the last one should be a little larger, so I'm gonna scale this one here, the last design, enter, and at the base point I'll choose the center, and I'm gonna scale it to match the last design. Also, if you want to move it, we can move it a little bit. So you notice that these two are a little smaller. Now we can just delete the last part. If you need to clean up the last layers, you can clean up that. We have this clear design. Thank you for watching. Now what I need you to do is try to create more designs, try to create more ideas, and let me know how well you did. Leave comments for me, leave me any questions you have, and thank you for watching. This is Dr. Abdul. I'm looking forward to be with you again in a new video. Thank you so much.